Good morning. Where's the clicker? That's the clicker. How y'all doing? Any hard nights last night? Okay, coffee in hand, 8:30 keynote. Okay, everybody wake up, wake up. Boom, boom, wake up, wake up. Sorry. And I'm really sorry about the whole hashtag thing yesterday. It really wasn't on purpose, but that's what happens when you put a hashtag for a major conference event and an @ for a major publisher. And I really wasn't even thinking about it. Last year when we bombed the hashtag, it was with press releases, and it was more intense. Yeah, who cares? That's me. Look at the glasses. Hey, how many people get to travel all over the world for their job? We're so lucky. We're such lucky people. I live there in Duluth, Minnesota, and we have this little slice of Silicon Valley there. I've been writing for Search Engine Land forever, Search Engine Watch. I have a new book, Killer Facebook Ads. It's a Wiley book. Man, it was hard. We're giving away chapter 5 today. It was the hard one. It's the money one. Chapter 5 and 6 are about targeting. You could go to our Facebook page and download it and also get the deck from today because there's a pretty serious Easter egg for you targeting junkies out there that I'll show you at the end. So I went back and started looking like who was talking about what. About Facebook ads and like social media and different channels and stuff. And I found Aaron Goldman's article from 2007, December, just after this conference. And he had a pretty good grip on it, I thought. And he was talking about whether it would be profiling or impact on SERPs. Ironically, in 2007, this conference, I thought, really was the most intensive theoretical conference. I wasn't here, but I went back and studied. And then the article of the year was probably in Inside Facebook. This is from July of 2007. And they're talking about newsfeed optimization being the new SEO. And I was traveling around. I went to like 24 conferences in 2007. And this was a dedicated conference to social media in New York. And that's Rand Fishkin and Danny Sullivan and that guy that started StumbleUpon. And that's me taking notes diligently. And I look back on the coverage because I like had a press pass and I was blogging it as a journalist. And I noticed that this is a tactical social media conference in 2007. And Facebook was bucketed in with MySpace and LinkedIn, and they were talking about how to leverage it. And I went back to the coverage, and like the only tactic I really took away from that conference was groups, Facebook groups. Like that didn't really work out. But I got very excited about things and started traveling around speaking about the impending social targeting revolution. It was like Paul Revere, the impending social targeting revolution. And literally at Search Engine Strategies 2008 in New York, at 1:45 as part of a social media panel, the 14 old dog SEOs that were in the room, they were kind of, what is this? And I'm going, you know what? I don't care that there's only 14 of you because you are the right people to be here today. And then, oh my God, here we are in 2011 and it's Facebook, like a freaking ecosystem. Please note that if anybody wants to tweet that there was an F involved there, I did not use the whole right word. It was clean and sanitized. And you know what? In Europe, they've limited like how companies can use cookies, right? So if they're freaked out about cookies, then why do you think we're going to be able to attach things like, oh, well, they're married and they're gay to people's shopping cart records for the duration? Like, so the targeting that we see out there right now, you know what? Use it or lose it because it's already showing signs of legislative attack. I spoke at PubCon this year on what you shouldn't miss using in Facebook, and I think if you're marketing to the European Union, you've got to be really concerned about being able to target, like, they're going to blow it up, totally. And what's really distressing for me about that is that targeting is in Facebook is so much more than just running Facebook ads. Facebook ads are just one part of it. It's all about organic activity. It is said that PPC, search PPC is to SEO. as Facebook ads are to community management. We use search PPC tools to flesh out our organic funnels. We use Facebook ads to figure out what community managers should say. And the fact that we can send unrestricted DMs by default in so many hundreds of millions of people's profiles means that if I could figure out where they are in Facebook, then I can contact them. So like for instance, if I sell clothing and I want to start conversations or serve Facebook ads to, or just get a general understanding in the planet relative to other brands, how many people care about Levi's, and this is just partial of course, it's pretty easy to go into Facebook ads and figure that out. And if I can figure it out, then I can find out where they are, and I can figure out the people who like it, who already are showing me that they're engaged and willing to be evangelists on part of a brand. And I can make big lists of them. I can copy and paste them with my little mouse. I could build extraction agents to pull them out and put them in a database. And I can even find their little questions. You know, we teach community managers, oh, engage, ask questions, right? Ask people questions. So here's Levi's asking, how many favorite pairs of jeans do you own? And there's 2,600 people who like it, and there is a list of the people who are engaging. So if I'm after friend making on themes, I want to find the conversations, there's so much data. I'm talking about Facebook now, but we're going to bridge out into different channels as part of this talk. Okay, the coffee is attached to my hand right now. Oh, God. It's like I ordered 2 press pots. They said, how many people is the coffee for, Mr. Weintraub? I said, make it for 3, please. It was me. How many people are community managers here? Now, how many people have community managers that work for them? Lots, right? It's stunning how community managers are wired to answer the clarion call on their own wall, but don't know very much about assertive and appropriate outreach. So it's really important to teach community managers how to find that intersection of what they're comfortable talking about, making friends, and data. Because I'm going to show you this because I would say that given your careers, that there's not, I could send you into any thread that is themed along the lines of what you are passionate about, and you could come out with likes or friends. Like here's a lady on the Zappos while I was flying cross country on my way to JFK to go to London, and I saw this lady. She didn't work for Zappos, and she said, oh man, I love that you sent my stuff really fast. I can't wait to try out my new Clark sandals. The 2 pair I have are totally worn, right? So I just went, okay, I'm a shoe salesman. Okay, I'm a shoe salesman. I mean, I just thought, well, if I wanted to make friends with this lady, over time, what could I do? So I used the unrestricted DM. And I said, hey, Laura, I saw your post on the Zappos page. There it was about Clark. My elderly mom in New Hampshire loves the open-toe feel, but needs arch support. How does the arch support measure up from Clark sandals? And just thank you so much. I just asked for her feedback because I knew she was into it. I pressed refresh and it was there. What's cool is the shoe's been surveyed. You can find out about the arch support. I like this kind of Clark sandal, excellent arch support. I sometimes wear my sandals instead of sneakers for my walking exercise. Have good luck. And then before I even had a chance to answer her, wow, your blog is great. You've got a really interesting career, and I'm going to share your blog on my page. And I went, thanks, I'm heading off to London to speak now. And then she friended me. Before I even, now she's got me right where I want her. So I just want you to buy into the theory that if you go try to meet people and you bring it and you're with them and you engage them and you rebroadcast with added editorial value and you ask them questions and they thank you and you try to sell them nothing, you will come out with friends. Yep, and then I checked out her Facebook page and that was my blog post from that morning, and she's promoting it to her gazillion friends, and then I started looking at her pictures and wow. And then my wife said, who the hell is that person you just made friends with, Marty? I know it sounds cute, but it was uncomfortable. She watches what I do. Okay. She's also a lawyer, so we can't mess with her. Everybody take a deep breath. Everybody take a sip of coffee. Everybody say, mother, 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 mother. Just kidding. Oh, hello. Thank you. It's too violent. All right, so listen. I know we all come from search backgrounds, or many of us do. So keywords are something that we understand. We figure out conversion for keywords. We figure out intent for keywords. Hey, dude, I'm a direct response search marketer, and I'm used to one-touch conversions. Well, I used to love it more, but it's harder now. So, you know, it's not very difficult to go into your AdWords and figure out your keywords and sort it by conversion and make lists of your keywords. And of course, you can go into analytics. I know, let's use the thank you page as a segment. And it's pretty easy to do. You can come out with keywords that are your top makers. But what's really cool in social media is finding conversations that just took place or are taking place that are themed along the lines of the semantics of your conversion. Right? If your conversion keyword is Minnesota Vikings, God help you, because you sell tickets for Minnesota Vikings, God help you, then you want recent conversations amongst real people about the Minnesota Vikings. It's the cornerstone of data-driven community outreach, whether it's paid or organic. Dude, these are our people. And knowing how to find conversations along conversion-themed lines, that's incredibly important. As a social marketer, the first thing I want to know is, where are people talking about my things? And I already know that I can jump in there with them and charm them. And yes, that is a picture of a gerbil, just because I felt like a picture of putting a gerbil. Look at that sucker's little beady eyeballs. Now, the trouble is, if you set out to find themed conversations internally in social media sites around the world, is that you can't find everything. And some of that is just because they're stupid, and some of that is because they purposely don't want you to be able to find everything. So if you're a social media marketer and you go, oh yeah, I'm going to map my converting keywords to conversations, it's a problem. Some sites are better than others. Like, I really like Test Tube. In the Test Tube section, which is the labs section of YouTube, there's a comment discovery, and I dig it. Like here, I'm searching for molecular biology, and I can find those threads. And a key when you vet internal search, be it a forum or a mainstream social media community in China, is you want to know if you could sort it by recency and the amount of comments there are. Well, in TestTube, it's comment search, so of course there are comments, and you could sort it by time, and you could find that thread to jump into as your YouTube community manager. I really like Twitter search, advanced Twitter search a lot, because you could go to the none of those words part and you could filter out the crap. You could filter out the radio stations. I mean, it's nice if radio stations follow you, but those aren't necessarily the real conversations. And I don't want ticket scalpers, and I could target it geographically. So try mapping your conversion keywords to regional Twitter conversations with noise filtered out. Like for instance here, this is that, and I'm looking for real users, and Minnesota Vikings are my keyword, and I found this guy. And I suppose if your football team sucked that bad, you'd be dressing up your beer bottle too. I mean, what is that? Hold on, time check. There's no timer here, so I'm checking. Oh, good, I didn't start it. Okay, good enough. I guess you're... So some sites are really, really bad, and I don't like identifying people in. It's hard to find great conversations in Facebook compared to other sites because you can't search videos. How many people here know that you cannot discover Facebook videos using Facebook internal search? You also can't find notes. What the hey? You can't sort it by date, and you can't sort it by how many comments there are, right? You can find public posts and groups and all that, but you can't sort it. But I've always thought as a marketer that state-of-the-art is what I do with what I have, and people have been out on the street trying to figure out where conversations take place since forever. So the secret weapon to the social media marketer is the site::operator. How many people know what that is? Site::. Go into any major search engine and go site.com space keyword space keyword space keyword. You could put it in quotes in many search engines. So look at this one. The footprint for Facebook videos is /video. So go site:facebook.com/video space cats space November 2011. Right? And there's all the conversations that are taking place. Or it doesn't tell you conversations, but it tells you videos that have taken place. And it seems that in Google, the order that they are indexed is based on engagement. So really, it's easy to use Google to find. Look at that cute little thing, but more importantly, look at that incredibly robust, vital, ongoing conversation that took place in November, where I put it. So think about search footprints. It doesn't even need to be stuff that you can't find in Facebook. You could just find it better. That footprint is site:facebook.com/New York Times. Wine, November 2011. It's an awesome thread. Get in there. There's 352 people that like it, and there's all the people. Go get to know them, right? It works in foreign languages and most or all search engines. And, I don't speak Swahili or Chinese or anything, so Chrome translation is an amazing tool. This is a site:/search in Alibaba to figure out where people are looking at a certain type of Linux configuration. That's what those characters mean. Translate it, and there it is. And get your Chinese team to figure out the footprint inside of Alibaba to identify conversations. It's usually words like comments or comments for multiples. So you could get past the inherent limitations in global social media sites in terms of finding internal conversations by using the site:/operator. Okay, everybody take a deep breath. Now we're going to have some fun. So whether you're targeting Facebook ads or whether you're looking for people in Twitter or whatever, I think it's really important to go after everything that a person is about. And even though Facebook is Facebook, it's the largest social sampling available to us by demographic research tools like on Earth right now. So you can gain insight in Facebook for countries where Facebook is successful and has a lot of penetration into both organic and paid and other channels. It's just an amazing, amazing starting place. I like to break the targeting universe down into 3 basic types: literal targeting, competitive targeting, and what we call inferred targeting. Literal targeting is the easiest to think about. It's where there's a straight-up one-to-one semantic relationship between the social segment that you're marketing to and the demographic segment. They're interested in tennis, so sell them tennis rackets, right? It's really easy to research because you just map your keywords. It works sometimes really well often it's better for direct response KPIs. But the bad news is that those types of literal associations do not always exist. It's sort of a no-brainer to market hockey sticks to people who are interested in playing varsity hockey and they're teenage, right? Or selling Jonas Brothers tickets to kids who are interested in Jonas Brothers, living the dream. Here's a segment. These are 30 to 50-year-olds who like pound tennis or playing tennis, and they graduated from college with a degree in business law or medicine or sports medicine or veterinary medicine, so I know something about their revenue. Sell those people club memberships. Sell them tennis rackets. In the competitive tip, of course, we all know, how many people target competitors' fans? How many people target people who hate competitors? So is this going to be litigious? Maybe. There's case law now about keywords and how you could use keywords for trademarks. There hasn't been case law yet for this, but how long do you think it will be until somebody sues for fan targeting? And search is your friend. I mean, just searching for competitors is like turning everybody else's SEO and PPC against them for easy discovery and targeting. And then there's the whole notion of cross-brand competitive targeting or symbiotic targeting. Can you sell Porsches to somebody who's interested in Rolex? Can you jump into the Rolex thread and have conversations with people who later find out that you're all about Porsches? And there's so many brands that are vulnerable. It's just crazy. With everybody land grabbing in Facebook, it's a rush to bring me your customers. And I'm a guy, right? So I don't know very much about perfume, but if I'm marketing perfume in Canada, I can search for cosmetics websites in Canada. It's awfully nice of Sephora to buy pay-per-clicks so I can target their fans. Right? That's beautiful, isn't it? It's just so beautiful. So do that while you can, because I actually think that some of this is going to go away. I can't see how it can't go away. It's an issue for your legal department. Like, we advise our clients to ask their lawyers if they're comfortable targeting competitive brands. And of course, if you're looking for conversations in Twitter or YouTube or Facebook or StumbleUpon or Delicious or Dig or Reddit or wherever, try using search engine footprints on the net, the classic hate words, horrible, the F word. Like, if you say that you hate the alternative, the other brand, then we know you use it and we know you're not happy. Why wouldn't I want to have a conversation with you? And last year, we had a really fun talk about like. I like it. I like it. Well, how about this, the double negative? Like, the double negative, I like hating it. I like it sucks. I like, it just freaks me out. And then Facebook has been really cleaning this stuff out of their demographic targeting, but I found that one a couple of days ago. Nice. It's real. And then finally, I like the whole notion of inferred targeting or lateral targeting. You can really get at people's personalities and invoke emotional response. You have to be a really creative marketer to do that. And Facebook sadly took away a great report that told you if you're marketing to Buddhists, then they like to read Siddhartha or whatever. Like, you have to figure this out on your own more. Like, for instance, occupation targeting. What does it mean if I can target people who work at real estate agencies? Well, I could sell my productivity software or magnetic car signs. Real estate agents have to plow properties. They buy cars. They need phone service. They eat at restaurants a lot. Right? What does it mean if I market to people who work at 3M, who live in St. Paul? It means I can market that sad Holiday Inn that is down the road from it. Like, what does it mean? What can I infer from knowing where they work? And then in the precise interest bucket in Facebook, it's staggering. Like, type in manager space B or manager space C. And use those alpha patterns because you get different results for how much of the word you type in. How many PR people would like to be able to target assistant attorney generals? Or independent sales representative, or audit supervisors. It's just stunning. And remember to get outside of your thinking, because sure, if they say they're interested in emergency physician, we know that means they most likely are. But if they are interested in emergency physicians monthly, that matters too. I can infer what they are. And it works for consumer products too. It works for consumer products too. Like, you could, if you're a bartender or a waitress, then I can make an inference if I matriculate it with the fact that you work at Red Lobster or TGI Fridays, that you're in a certain income class, and I can sell you budget brands. And we've had success selling synthetic motor oil or Metallica stuff or fishing lodges to people who are auto techs and mechanics. What can you sell to somebody who you know is a ski instructor? And it's interesting to figure out how people say occupations for a geographic area in Facebook or LinkedIn and see how that maps. We've sold fashion parkas to ski instructors in New Zealand. And remember to target the associations that they belong to. If somebody is interested in the Georgia Restaurant Association or the American Dental Association, I know something about them. Now, one of the Easter eggs that I am sharing in my PowerPoint presentation is copy and paste Fortune 500 targeting that you could scrape out of the PowerPoint presentation and paste into Facebook ads. I'll show you how to do that at the end. But literally, you could target every Fortune 500 company, and you can matriculate that with their interests, which means their occupations, or with their education, or with where they live, or their age. But if you're going to do occupation targeting, remember that you're targeting all the molecular biologists who work for Siemens in Germany when they're at home, or when they're on their mobile, or when they're cheating with Facebook at work. So don't sell very hard. Okay, raise your hand if you're a freak. Okay, raise your hand if you're not a freak. Okay, well, that only leaves two possibilities. Either you're shy or you're a liar. Whoa, that guy's a freak. I say that if I jump into a conversation with somebody who hates being pregnant, ultimately I can sell them diapers. Or if I find somebody on Twitter or YouTube who's really into Terry Brazelton, La Leche Lee Guru, that ultimately I can sell them associated products. Check this out. My kid's a freshman at Madison this year, a freshman in college. This is 6.2 million people who are like into all these really, they're underage. They're less than 20 years old, and they're on Facebook. So we've had a lot of fun with this segment. We sold a gazillion skateboards, both conversationally in multiple channels and with Facebook and other ads. And also we've helped recruit people for new churches, right? Because these people are suffering. Right? So I just want to give you. But here's what really blows my mind. They work for the UK Parliament, they work for the British Council, they're in the British Army, and I don't even know what half of this stuff means, and I'm 52 years old. We've had a lot of success selling sugar coupon cereal downloads to perverts and pot people that smoke pot. Conflict and violence. Listen, there's 7,200 people who are 13 years old in America who like if killing my probation officer was legal, right? Sell them Mortal Kombat downloads. Right. I'll let you just read this. I have like 3 or 4 minutes left, and it's going to time perfect. Just read this. I don't want to say it out loud. Tens of thousands of sales. Because in the real world, if you're thinking about inferred targeting to aim at the whole person, you're talking about figureheads, and you're talking about causes, or political issues or orientations, charities that people are into, their religions. It's really easy to sell commitment products to religions because they show up in the social graph for loving Jesus. Then these are committed people. Current events that are hot, movements, green, Occupy, test it. And you better use this targeting now, because I personally can't believe that I'm going to be allowed to tag segmented Facebook ads with these types of information, this type of information about people, and be able to use it. Okay, so here's the takeaways from today. From my point of view, look at every channel's internal search. Study it and really understand what you can and cannot see. Check it out, and then once you understand the conversations that take place along lines of conversion themes in social media, that's your inventory, right? What you can't see inside of each community, figure out the search footprint. Go to that part of the social media community and look at the URL and figure out what you have to do in the site colon search to find it. You're looking for recent conversations, you're looking for theme conversions, and then reach out, engage with those users, be a social media community manager, or like the best way to make friends is to be friendly. The best way to get people to like you is to do things that people like. It's so basic, really. Chrome translation is definitely your friend, and while Facebook is not the channel in every country, especially the unfortunate ones where it is banned, it's still an awesome harbinger of who's interested in what. Okay, so here's how you use the Fortune 500 targeting. It's in this slide in the presentation that you can get from our Facebook page, and yes, I ask for a like, but you can unlike it just afterwards, and if you want really nice content, why can't I ask you to like me? So then this is going to end up in the precise interest bucket in Facebook. See that little arrow? That's the new feature where you could paste in words. Then scrape it out, and you can only do a third at a time because you're limited in how many things you can, how many companies you can target. This is precise interest targeting. I'm not using the work and education bucket. I'm doing it in the interest, and then it will just show up there. You could find it at facebook.com/aimClear. Just go download the deck, and it will be there. And I just want to say that this is one of my favorite conferences in the world, and it's a tremendous pleasure and honor to get to speak to you for a half hour all at one time. So thank you very much, and I hope you really enjoy the rest of your conference experience here. Is there time for questions, or are we done?
Yeah, absolutely. Do we have any questions for Marty?
You don't have to have any. You can. Oh, we'll give away a book to the first person that completely stumps me or the moderator.
I don't think I'm going to stump you. Hey, Marty.
Where are you?
I'm in the back.
Hi.
Hey, way back. So I joined Facebook however many years ago, and I don't think I updated my interests or anything other than my marital status since then. And I sort of feel like Facebook today, most people really use it to communicate, but they're not really paying attention to their interest lists. I know people are liking things, but I suspect that a lot of interests are just out of date for people. How do you handle that, or how do you?
How focused are the ads that you see? Do you feel like they're well targeted at you, or do you feel like they have no clue who you are as they target ads?
I think 95% of them are trying to sell me SEM-related services. So
well, I wonder how they do that.
I
wonder how they do that if you don't update your interests. Here's what you do. Go into the interest bucket and create, I would never advocate violating terms of service, but if you were to create shadow profiles and create sets of interest or combinations of profile and then run test Facebook ads that correlate it, we've done that with hundreds, I think hundreds, not thousands, but hundreds and hundreds and hundreds to see who else was targeting stuff. And then if you networked it all with those profiles, you would see that what Facebook tells us they use to comprise the targeting social graph is different. It is augmented by factors that they don't tell us. So if you go read the older explanations of how they target it, you'll see we target your job, we target your likes, we target what your interests are, and other things. Other things, and that other thing scares me. So I don't know. What I do know is that I can find hundreds of millions of impressions. I can click through 0.3% without even hardly trying if I make the ad orange and I say something clever that speaks to my demographic. So I agree with you, but somehow it still works, and I think that's because Facebook mines stuff that they don't tell us about. I think your communications are probably enough. Good question. Thank you. More? Anybody want to sing Kumbaya?
If you want to stump him, just ask him a question about breasts. He said he doesn't know anything about that.
Ask me any question about anything. Who wants a book? Should we just go home? It's always so awkward at the end because what am I supposed to do? Say goodbye and then have halfway polite applause? What are we supposed to do now? Yes.
One of the challenges we're having as an organization is, as search marketers, we're so used to measuring ROI as it relates to stuff sold on your website. And so much of the success on Facebook doesn't necessarily correlate to that, more softer metrics like engagement. And as primarily direct response marketers with maybe a little bit of brand, but mostly direct response, how should we be thinking about Facebook and kind of crossing the chasm for our current clients who are thinking about dollars sold?
That's fantastic. There are many answers to that question, but I've done case studies where I averaged in 20 case studies where we're in multi-channel environment, and we look at marketing in as effective an attribution model as we can, and in a global cost per action where we see the effect of one channel on another. But here's the deal. Say you're in a space where there's 500,000 people in your Facebook segment and it's highly focused, and you serve them 10 million impressions, and you compare brand search, both impression count, as measured by Google Insights for search, or traffic to your site on brand terms, at least when we could see keywords, or what the bottom line for me is that a lot of times when I start marketing with Facebook ads, I'm looking for free advertising and I'm using negative call per actions and I'm building bots to go out and click on it so it clicks through enough for me to keep it running, because what I'm after is 10 to 20 million impressions to 500,000 people, because what it does is it increases brand search by a significant percentage. It increases brand conversion. on Google and in Bing. Like, it comes down to the old way of thinking about marketing, where it's so much easier to sell if your product is world famous, plus taking a position of being magnanimous and not doing a very hard sell in social media does other things for branding. My advice to people who are just jumping into Facebook ads or social marketing is try to figure out how you could do as much of it as you can with extremely high impression and low CTR. I mean, you're looking at 20 million impressions at 0.015%. So for every 10 million impressions, you only send 1,500 visitors, but they're the ones who will really care about your product, and they will convert, and it will do amazing things for your search. So look at it in a holistic light and understand how marketing and social drives people to the top of the search funnel. Is there anybody else here who has had that experience where paid social has driven brand search to the top of the funnel and changed your brand conversion numbers? I think that that's how you use Facebook and LinkedIn right now. Yeah, we could do amazing direct response over time if we know what we're doing, but ask how you could advertise for free practically and drive people to the top of the search funnel with brand awareness. I know that's counterintuitive for a direct response leech like me, but it's really what I believe. Great question.
Great. Thanks, Marty.
Yeah, thank you very much. Give yourselves a round of applause.